And this is Lester Sharlock. We're one of the two first presidents of the old Stamford Jewish Historical Society, which is now the Jewish Historical Society of Greater Stamford. And we're here to tell you about this odyssey of how we got to these archives at 1074 Hope Street in the Springdale section of Stamford, and where we came from. So, Lester, take it from here.
When we first were getting organized, the Jewish Center gave us a closet to use to store our archives, and it was about the size of a small pantry. It was upstairs on the second floor, and although we thought we had use of the total closet, which was about 3 square feet, we found that Federation was also beginning to store supplies in that closet, and we were accumulating more and more material, and we spoke to the center and said we need more space. When the Jewish Center opened in its new location, they had installed a kitchen area where they were going to have a nutrition program, which really never took off. So they allowed us to use that space at the Jewish Center, which was probably about 100 square feet. And it had a regular kitchen set up in it, but we put shelving in around it, and we were able to utilize that space, and we all filled that up pretty rapidly. We then realized that we need additional space to continue collecting the memorabilia of our Stamford Jewish history. We went looking and arrived with this space on Hope Street, which Joel Friedman owned, and this is about 300 square feet. Next thing we needed was some office supplies and office furniture to outfit it. Fortunately, Fred Golov knew Mr. Ron Gross, who was president of the Rayonier Corporation on Summer Street, and they were downsizing. So we were able to acquire all this furniture you see here, and we had to rent a truck. I went over to Liberation House and was able to hire a couple strong, able-bodied men, and we schlepped all of the furniture, the wall hanging cases, the filing cabinets, and everything you see here. And next question was how to put it together. Well, Erwin and I worked together, and we began to screw things into the wall when suddenly the next door tenant came running in. He said, "Your screws are coming through my wall." We didn't realize at the time that these walls are only about 1 inch thick. So here we are. We're outgrowing this space, as you can see. Everything is filled to capacity. We hope to enjoy a larger space, which we will be able to afford in the very foreseeable future, and we're going to need more office furniture and more people. So if you hear of anything, please let us know.
First of all, I'd like to thank two people who really helped to put this archive together, and that's Erwin Miller and Lester Sharlock, who put together all of the cubicles and the desks and all the furniture, the shelves, etc. And now I'd like to introduce you to some of the things that we have here in the archives. As you can see on the top, we have pictures of Old Stamford, Pacific Street, the synagogue, Dr. Nemoitin. And as we go down the room, you can see other photos that we do have and we preserve. In these cubbies, we have American Jewish history books, Fairfield County history books, right? In these, we keep all of our old B'nai B'rith material and books and bulletins that we do use for not only research, but for some of our displays in the archive case at the Jewish Center. Okay, in here, we also, as you can see, we have copies of the Jewish Encyclopedia, which are invaluable for research for anyone who was interested in using it. This goes through various countries, and these were donated by the Nemoitins. Okay, we keep all of our material in one place so that we can access it very easily. For example, here we have all of our oral histories and tapes of people that we have interviewed, as well as some of the programs of people that have spoken before our organization. We also have more of those right here in our meeting tapes from 1986 all the way through to the present time. So anyone can borrow them if they've missed a meeting or would like to hear more about the speaker who was there on that particular Sunday. These are archival material. In other words, they're acid-free and they do protect anything that we put in there from degradation. Okay, we've tried to organize this by organizations such as Hadassah, National Council of Jewish Women. We have their brochures, their materials, their financial records, their publications, and that really does take a lot of time. And over here we have a very interesting collection that was started by Bernie Plotnick, pertaining to Jewish history and the Holocaust and anything of interest to Jewish life. We've also added to it by, for example, buying films such as From Pushcart to Peddlers, Hadassah Changing People's Lives, and other information that people find very interesting. For example, there's material here on Shlomo Jacoby, who was a veteran of the Jewish Brigade, and he spoke to our organization about the Jewish Brigade in World War II. So we invite all of you to come up and borrow these tapes or view them here, if at all possible. We could use a VCR, of course, to see them here. That's one of the pieces of equipment that we do not have as yet. Thank you.
I'm putting in information but this is mostly local information from our newspaper. This goes into our files. What you're looking at right now happen to be obituaries. The reason I am doing, when we got this computer, I was the only one who knew how to use it. But this was a number of years ago, and since then we've got a couple of specialists, so I very often don't have to do the entry. I work with another lady who unfortunately is not here right now, Maggie Levy, who is a specialist in computers. She teaches how to use them. But for the time being, I am the fallback person, so to speak. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm entering information. Eventually, we expect to have all of the material that we have here, and there's lots and lots and lots of it, in the computer, so that someone can come in and presumably look up names or people or positions or things from that may have taken place here in Stamford.
I'm Eileen Nemoington, one of the workers at the archives. First of all, I'd like to show you the quarterly from Stamford High School, June 1924. This is among many of the things we get from our members. They're cleaning out their closets or their attics. The other one is a yearbook from Stamford High School, 1952. We have several of these, and we keep a record of them. The next thing we go to is administration of Mayor Walensky. He was the founder of Liberation House, which is on Main Street. Then we have a collection of books of his administration, very well organized. We have 9 of these. So an example is assessments, budgets, taxes, culture, charter revision, grand list, all about Washington Boulevard. These are some of the articles. IRA taxpayers hang up officials. 1,000 calls to answer from taxpayers. Then we have new assessment should increase property values. We have more here. Tax hike 13 mills, 8 mills a question. Mayor forecasts 5 to 6 increase. we're still increasing. This is one of 9 books that he kept during his administration, very well organized, and we just received them recently, so we have to go through all of these and get them organized for the archives.
Hi, I'm Linda Balser, and I'm working here in the archives at the Jewish Historical Society, where Eileen Nemoyton and I are putting together images of the area, Jewish images of the area, actually. It's a book that's going to be published probably for next Hanukkah. I think next Hanukkah would be a good time to issue the book. So far, we have about 300 images. I'm just recording some new photos that came in from the Historical Society of the town of Greenwich. We've got this great piece of the original Cohen building. This was a grocery store on Greenwich Avenue. And in fact, we also have the first, where is Marx Brothers? I just processed it in. Oh yeah, here, Marx Brothers, which was at the time I guess a candy newspaper store rather than a office supply business. And here they are, and the date is 1920. So we're back in the 1920s on Greenwich Avenue. By the middle of the century, by the 1950s, about 60% of the property on Greenwich Avenue was owned by Jewish people, which is kind of a remarkable bit of trivia. Okay.
Hi, I'm Ellie Scher, and I've been working at the archives almost since we started the collections. And the past couple of years, we've been collecting all the material that we can on Joe Lieberman, both from the New York Times, the Stamford Advocate, and various magazines that we come across. The files are growing. We have all kinds of written material. We have memorabilia from the political campaign. We're also, we monitor the Manger family, which were his grandparents, and his mother. We keep files on his mom. And it's been, as I said before, it's been growing mightily. We have all kinds of material. Should he actually run for election, it's going to be very valuable material. It's valuable to us even without that, because he's a local boy who not only became nationally known, but internationally known. So we think it's one of our most important collections.
As you can see, these cabinets are just filled up with all kinds of letters, documents, artifacts, and you've gotten a complete tour of the facility previously, but we're filled to capacity now, and so it's urgent that we get some larger facilities. That's it. Thanks very much.